Quavo, Takeoff, they was down here with y'all. But they seen you walking by. He's laying on the ground. Got Mike bending down, and they seen you walking by. What took place there?
Just the crazy thing about the video, right, is...
Hey, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We got a little bit of straightening going on.
This ain't some small-time rap beef. This is an all-out war that's been simmering behind the scenes, and now it's blowing up in the open for everyone to see. Mase just dropped a bomb so big the internet literally froze for a second. He leaked a private call between J. Prince and Takeoff, something nobody ever thought would come to light. And now Prince is spiraling. Threats flying, favors being called in, scrambling to keep control. But the real kicker? Mase isn't backing down. He fired back with claps so loud it shook the entire culture, saying out loud what people had been whispering in hushed tone for years but never dared to put on record. And the timing couldn't be crazier. The streets still want real answers about Takeoff's death. That night in Houston never sat right. Missing footage, silence witnesses, and the same names keep circling back, J. Prince Jr. and DJ Pat. Now, with this leaked call thrown in, it's like gasoline dumped on a fire that was already raging. If what Mase exposed holds weight, this isn't just about J. Prince trying to polish up his reputation. This points to something deeper, something darker, something that could shatter the very empire he's been protecting. And people ain't forgetting the other shady details, mysterious bail money being covered, cryptic warnings dropped on podcasts, witness tweets vanishing without explanation. Social media is tearing Prince apart, calling him a fake community leader, a so-called fixer running things like a cartel boss, even accusing him of having real blood on his hands. And make no mistake, this ain't some throwaway YouTube gossip rundown. This cuts straight to Takeoff's last moments, the mob tie shadow that's been haunting everything, and why Prince is suddenly sweating now that the wrong person finally spoke up loud and clear. Here's how it all kicked off. Mase had been quiet, laying low, minding his business. But when Prince started throwing slick subliminals on the $1 million worth of game podcast, that was it. The gloves came off, and Mase wasn't about to play polite anymore. Even Cameron, who had stayed silent about the Houston mess for months, started leaning in after Mase made it clear Prince had crossed the line.
This is a problem, J. Prince, and I'm gonna tell you like this: if you're 60 years old and you're trying to be a street you failed. You failed. You failed. You failed. I'm telling.
And then came the moment that froze the internet in its tracks. Mase says he heard a call where J. Prince was allegedly talking to Takeoff just hours before his tragic end. And this wasn't some big brother checking in conversation. Nah, Mase claimed Prince was pressing him heavy about loyalty, moving like a boss, and making demands instead of offering any real guidance. It wasn't a respectful back and forth. According to Mase, J. Prince had been moving shady, pulling strings, and trying to control the narrative from behind scenes. And the moment Takeoff stopped playing into that game, everything flipped left. The timing is what makes people's stomachs turn, because it all lines up way too close to the tragedy. Mase says this alleged call happened the exact same night Takeoff was killed outside that Houston bowling alley. A dice game that went left, voices clashing, gunshots ringing, and just like that, Takeoff was gone at only 28 years old. Once Mase let those details out, Prince completely unraveled. He jumped online throwing veiled threats, doubling down, and even taking shots at Offset, claiming Offset wasn't really there for Takeoff when he was alive. You wasn't really there with Takeoff when he was alive. You know what I mean. Prince tossed those words like daggers. And that's what lit the Offset versus Prince feud on fire, pulling Cardi B straight into the mess as she came swinging to defend her man. But now with Mase adding this alleged private call into the mix, Prince looks like he's spiraling in full-blown damage control. The wild part? It feels too late to fix anything. Because the streets are already talking, and they don't like the puzzle pieces they are putting together. One fan on X said it plain and simple: nobody respects J. Prince after Takeoff was on his watch. And once that narrative started spreading like wildfire, people began seriously side-eyeing mob ties and questioning the entire empire J. Prince built.
Tell you another thing, when you're dealing with older people, they're the last to know that things have changed. We not your little like the way you talking, I don't get what you mean. We're not your little like.
Especially after Patrick Xavier Clark, better known as DJ Pat, got picked up and charged, making the whole situation look even uglier than it already was. But here's the part that's got everybody's head spinning. DJ Pat, the man accused of pulling the trigger, walked out of jail on a $1 million bond like it was pocket change. No struggle, no delay, just out the door like somebody powerful made sure he didn't sit in that cell for long. And the whispers? They all point straight back to J. Prince and the kind of backroom moves only a select few can pull off. Folks online haven't forgotten the chilling rumor either, that J. Prince allegedly stepped past Takeoff's body that night and coldly said, "Cool that. Don't ask me none about that." If that's true, that's not just cold, it's heartless. And then things got even messier. Reports claim J. Prince Jr. wanted his name erased from DJ Pat's bond paperwork. Like, why scrub your name if you've got nothing to hide? That's not damage control. That's flat-out distancing yourself the second the block gets hot. And it ain't just DJ Pat in this mix either. Don't forget about Cameron Joshua, a.k.a. Lil Cam Fifth, who got picked up on gun charges right after Takeoff's murder. Guess what? He's tied to mob ties too. Over and over, the same circle keeps showing up in the middle of body bags. And yet mob ties still tries to push the victim card. But the streets? They had done buying that story. People already saw the warning signs when Duke the jeweler came down to Houston. He checked in with mob ties, sat down at a dice game, and before the night was over, his name was trending for all the wrong reasons. Same script, same silence, and once again J. Prince's name floating like a shadow nobody wanted to call out. And you'll remember that clip of J. Prince calmly telling his shotgun man to fall back? That move felt way too rehearsed, like it wasn't the first time they ran a play like that. To a lot of people, this is looking less like coincidence and more like a pattern. The setup is starting to look all too familiar. Flashy outsiders get invited to Houston. They check in with mob ties. The dice games roll. The vibe shifts. Security stands around pretending to be lost. And then chaos. Shots fired. Lives lost.
You wasn't really right there with Takeoff when he was alive. You know what I mean? So.
And right after, J. Prince pops up dropping one of those carefully worded speeches about community, brotherhood, and how grief is the price of love. Man, miss us with the PR sermons. Because when things went sideways, that so-called community spirit was nowhere to be found. And here's the detail nobody can brush off. Not a single Prince showed up to Takeoff's funeral. Not one. That's beyond suspicious. And the whisper started immediately. Maybe they knew their presence would raise too many eyebrows, maybe even bring the heat straight to the front row. Meanwhile, J. Prince Jr. is online tweeting slick bars like, "Don't wear jewelry around vultures." But if you knew the room wasn't safe, why invite Quavo and Takeoff into that chaos to begin with? And let's not forget, Quavo was reportedly in a heated argument with J. Prince Jr. right before it all went left. Now new clips are surfacing, showing Prince brushing it all off like his name ain't tied to anything, acting like none of it happened under his cruise watch. But the moment J. Prince threw shade on $1 million worth of game, Mase went nuclear. Straight scorched earth. He didn't just offend himself. He came for Prince's entire reputation, shredding the image he's been polishing for decades. No sugarcoating, no filter. Mase said, "We not your little." And the way he dropped it, that wasn't a casual jab. That was a gut punch. Raw, direct, and personal. Mase wasn't just speaking for himself. He was voicing what countless others have felt being trapped under the so-called check-in system. Prince has been running the culture like a toll booth, and Mase ripped that mask clean off. And then came the twist. Cameron co-signed it. He didn't stop Mase, didn't tone it down, didn't challenge a word. He just sat back and let Mase cook. And that silence was deafening, because Cam is usually careful, calculated, selective about what he attaches his name to. Fans caught it instantly. If Cam let Mase air Prince out like that, it meant he low-key agreed. And suddenly, people were convinced Mase had been holding onto that leaked call, waiting for the perfect time to drop it. The second Prince got slick on that podcast, Mase pulled his ace card. Meanwhile, the tension kept building. Offset tried to stay quiet at first, but when J. Prince dragged his name through the mud, saying he wasn't really there for Takeoff, Offset snapped. No filter, no hesitation. And right behind him came Cardi B, loud, fearless, and direct. She made it crystal clear they weren't scared of mob ties. She said it plain, "We're not your little." That moment hit different, because suddenly this wasn't music politics anymore. Jay Prince just got blasted by a mainstream power couple under the brightest spotlight possible. His so-called street cred started crumbling in real time. And here's the part casual fans might miss unless they are watching closely. Big names have been backing away from Prince one by one. Look at Drake. That man used to be front and center in mob ties mentions, always showing love, always shouting them out. But lately, radio silence. No reposts, no shout-outs, not even a casual nod. And the craziest part? Jazz Prince is literally the one who introduced Drake to Wayne and Young Money. Yet ever since Takeoff's death, Drake's been moving like he doesn't know the Princes at all. That's distance with a capital D. And it doesn't stop there. Jay-Z's been doing the same. Word is Hov hasn't picked up a mob ties call since early 2023. And you'll know how Jay moves. He doesn't do messy beefs. He just cuts the cord and makes quiet power moves. Why? Because billion-dollar brands are tied to his name and is not risking it on street whispers, federal eyes, or anything linked to Takeoff's case. Now Mase is out here leaking behind-the-scenes convos, tossing receipts into the air, and suddenly there's no corner left for Jay Prince to hide in. The silence game don't work anymore. The only reason mob ties even had power was because of that check-in system. Fly into Houston, link with Jay Prince Jr., and supposedly you're protected. But now that whole system looks broken. Duke the jeweler checked in and still didn't make it home. Takeoff checked in and still ended up gone. And that's why people are done with it. The same men demanding respect can't even safeguard the guests they claim to protect. Even Cali artists been saying straight up, the checking game is nothing but a setup. A trap for clout that lets gatekeepers flex like they run the whole culture. And once Mase finally said what everyone's been whispering, that Jay Prince is nothing but a failed street boss playing mob kingpin, the internet couldn't unsee it. His mystique crumbled in real time. But here's the part nobody can shake. What happened to the witnesses at night at 810 Billiards in Bowling? Over 40 people were there. We saw the clips. We heard the noise. So why hasn't more come out? Word on the block is threats kept mouths shut. That's why folks accuse mob ties of paying people off, making footage vanish, and pinning it all on DJ Pat. Then came the theory that hit even harder. Some say it wasn't Takeoff in the argument at all. It was Quavo and Jay Prince Jr. going back and forth. Takeoff wasn't even in the mix, yet is the one who ended up caught in the crossfire, which got fans asking, was it a slip-up or a warning shot gone wrong? Either way, too many questions remain unanswered. And here's where things could explode. Sources close to Mase and Cam say that call between Prince and Takeoff might have been recorded. Maybe by accident, maybe on purpose. But if that audio exists, it's the ace card waiting to flip the whole story upside down. If that tape leaks, game over. That wouldn't just expose secrets. It would be the mob ties indictment. The feds been circling, watching closely, and this would drop everything into their lap. People forget Rico don't care about your legend, your plaques, or your street cred. They care about patterns, witness intimidation, coded threats, shady money trails, and organized behavior. And when Offset, Cardi, Cameron, Mase, and an entire fan base are all echoing the same line, that Jay Prince got blood on his hands. The label can't save you, the city can't save you, and those check-ins mean nothing if your name shows up on paperwork. But through all the chaos, we can't forget who this is really about. Takeoff, the quiet genius of Migos. The one who never chased clout, never stirred drama, never moved sloppy. Just music, family, and vibes. And the fact his life ended at a dice game surrounded by people who claimed to love him, that's the real heartbreak. Prince tried to wipe his hands clean with an Instagram post saying, "Grief is the price of love." But nobody wants poetic quotes when the streets are side-eyeing you for letting chaos unfold on your watch, then walking away like nothing happened. The people don't want PR statements or cryptic podcast lines. They want answers. Straight up. And that's why May's move hit like a sledgehammer. He didn't just clap back. He ripped the Band-Aid off and opened the floodgates. He showed the fear around Jay Prince ain't bulletproof anymore. The armor's cracked. Real ones are speaking up. Legends are co-signing. Fans are calling out what they see without hesitation. And if Prince keeps spinning the story instead of facing it, he risks losing everything. His image, his influence, even his empire. From whispers of leaked phone calls, to feds allegedly listening closer than ever, to A-list artists ghosting mob ties, to witnesses disappearing when it matters most. This saga is far from over. The world is watching every move, and the more Prince snaps, the louder the backlash gets. Prince snapped. Mase clapped back. And now the spotlight is hotter than it's ever been. Drop a comment if you're locked in. Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming out of this story next.